Guess who's back again.
Neighbors back.
Tell your
neighbors. Tell everyone around the world, really. Tell everyone.
Tell
so that
everyone.
We just need everybody to listen.
We're cupping our mics to tell you this because it makes it louder, I think. I don't know.
We sound really muffled.
I'm so sorry, Cody.
Everybody's like, oh my gosh, I can't understand anything they're saying. What? This is the episode? We're back?
We're back.
We haven't been gone because we recorded last week.
I know.
But like it's been a crazy time for you.
A lot.
Ooh.
Welcome to another episode of What's with the Neighbors. That is Bree.
And that is Amy, my best buddy.
My best buddy. We said nice things to each other today, and then she told me to stop, which was rude.
It felt gross. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
Ew.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Sorry. I was taking a comedy sip. I just learned about this. Like a second for like the things to like intensify.
Oh yeah. I've seen people do that on like live streams.
Yeah, they take like a comedy
like
sip.
Take a second, like taking that little what is it called? Like the break that you take before something like gets crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what that's. There's a word for it.
It's called I don't know. I've been watching a lot of stand-up comedy, and someone said, "Hold on, let me take my comedy sip."
Did you watch Matt Rife?
Yeah.
That video?
Yeah. Okay. So my question for you is, what movie would be greatly improved if it was made into a musical?
Oh,
I know.
Gross gag. I hate musicals.
Oh, I forgot. You don't like musicals.
I hate musicals, and yeah, I'm rewatching Riverdale.
That is so funny. I completely forgot about that about you.
Oh man, I was gonna say Harry Potter, but that
I knew you were gonna say Harry Potter.
Did you say that would be greatly improved?
Yeah.
Oh no. Although, like, Snoop, Severus, Snurp. Have you seen that? I love that. I think I made you listen to it once.
Yes, you did. Yes,
Ron
you did.
Weasley. Inception.
Really? What?
Titanic.
Oh my gosh.
That would be really dramatic.
That would be
like,
so dramatic. Okay, it doesn't have to greatly be improved, but, would be a funny one to watch.
Shrek. Wait, Shrek is kind of like a musical at some time at points. Yeah. Oh, what would you say?
I don't know. I told myself I was going to sit down and think about it, but then I forgot to. I think Free Guy would be really funny to watch as a musical.
That would be good. Anything with him. Yeah. Deadpool.
Oh my gosh. He is in a musical.
He is?
He's in that Christmas musical.
Oh, that one that's on Apple?
Yeah.
Okay. I have Apple TV. Should watch that.
Yeah. I forgot what it's called, but he is in a musical. I mean, I don't know.
I could be brown. I could be blue.
Yeah. He doesn't sing that song in there.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. They just do a trend on TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Free Guy would be really funny to watch as a musical or
This Is the End. Have you ever seen that? Or any stoner movie, really.
Oh my gosh.
Pineapple Express?
Yes.
Any stoner movie. There.
Okay.
That.
Ghostbusters would be a good one.
Yeah. The ghosts would be singing too. Slimer or whatever.
Nice. So are you going to tell your neighborhood story?
I think it would work out better if that, because then you could go first.
Okay.
And then me. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this one is from Bored Panda. And it says, I was a neighbor from hell once. I realize how much I suck now, but at the time I was apparently a douche. I lived below a couple with 2 young children. One couldn't even walk yet. Oh. I was in a band. And since I worked the 2 to 10 shift at my job, we recorded our album in my apartment after 10:30 every night. I can't imagine they liked me at all, but they never really complained and were nice enough when I would see them in the halls and stuff. Still, now I have my own kid. I realize I sucked big time.
At least he owned
now
it.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, my neighbors are setting off fireworks. I hate them. Wow, I was that neighbor once. We kind of all were a douche neighbor. So
I won't.
No, I'm not saying you're a douche neighbor. I'm just calling him a douche neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
We kind of all were jerks at one time.
Yes.
Didn't understand kids.
Yeah. Yep.
It's cool.
I agree. So this week we're doing something a little bit different, people. We are doing short stories.
Yes. Hometown horrors.
Hometown horrors.
Horrors. And also like listener stories as well.
Stories.
We're doing a little bit of a mix.
Yep. We're
like mini stories. The little stories that are like the honorable mentions that don't make the cut, but we really want to make them happen.
Yes. Like stories that weren't enough juice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we really want to share it.
Like that thing I posted, I'm sure you've seen it on TikTok, of that pizza guy who was delivering pizza. Yeah. And there was like a car chase going on and he tripped the guy. Like, tell us about it. We'll read it. We'll go and research it if we need to. And there's clearly not enough juice on it unless the guy had like a serious past. But
but
maybe the pizza guy had done it before.
But if it doesn't make it for a big story, it can make the cut for our new hometown horrors. Horrors.
Just so you can hear us say horrors.
Horrors. Horrors.
Horrors.
Horrors.
Just say it like you're from Brooklyn. Horrors.
Horrors.
Oh, the horror.
Oh my gosh. Yesterday, after listening to that podcast that I was telling you about, for like the next 20 minutes, I talked like I was from the 50s.
Isn't that weird? How you like adopt something? Every time I get into like a show, like especially with country accents, my country accent gets really heavy. Weird.
Okay, so I'm going to go first, and my question, not my question. What am I doing?
Your quest.
My quest. My story says, this is actually submitted by one of our listeners, and it says, "Hello, ladies. Not sure if this counts as a true crime or not, but back in January, while on our way home, I look over to see the man in the vehicle next to us looking like he was jacking off.
Oh.
Like hand movements and everything.
He's got a shake weight.
Oh, and he was smiling.
Ew.
I immediately looked away, awkward, and forgot about it until I saw this on the local news. Forgot about this until this news article popped up in March. It's titled, "Police Arrest Man Accused of Driving Around Amarillo Pantless, Pleasuring Himself."
Oh.
Man arrested Wednesday for indecent exposure and released on $2,500 bond. Police said they were alerted to an alleged crime because of social media. According to court documents, police saw photos and videos on March 22nd that were posted on Facebook. They were taken as the man drove past a tattoo business where the poster works. The sunroof of his Ford Raptor was open and the windows were rolled down. The person who caught it said it had been going on almost daily since February 21st. And according to documents, the police were called numerous times, but nothing was ever done.
First of all, this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Second of all, we get a 10% discount for the first. Please, oh my God!
Could you imagine?
For the people that saw it, and for the person, of course.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God! Well, I wonder what his name would be for if it was like a crime in like the 1950s.
Oh my gosh! Happy Jack.
I was gonna say the Wiener Wrangler.
Oh my gosh.
That would be a fun segment to do.
Yes, it would.
Give people true crime names. Okay. That was a good one.
Thank you, listener.
Thank you. This one is not from a listener, but one that I wanted to do.
Okay.
And it is from Night Mute in Alaska.
Okay.
It's from a high school.
Oh.
It's on Nelson Island in Alaska, Night Mute High School. It's very small.
Secluded.
Yeah.
Sounds like. Never heard of
Here,
it.
kids are living some of their best lives, high school. It's just the time of your life.
Right.
Some of these pupils love it so much that they don't want to leave.
Oh.
According to the students here, there is a girl that wanders the school hallways humming and whistling, playing basketball in the gym, and has been known to hang out in the bathroom, flushing toilets and flicking lights on and off. Kind of like Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yep. No one knows who she is, but they did recover a grave underneath one of the rooms, room 106.
Gosh.
Yeah. So, no, how do you not know who this is? There's a grave.
That's so creepy.
And it's such a small town.
Yeah.
Probably everybody knows each other, and they're like, they just don't talk about her. They don't talk about Moaning Myrtle. Poor Moaning Myrtle.
Poor more Moaning Myrtle.
That's it.
Oh my gosh,
short,
that's so
sweet.
crazy.
Yeah.
How do they not know who she is?
No.
Can we look at documents?
But
deceased?
also imagine her seeing a basketball randomly shoot through the hoop or something. This girl was good at basketball.
But what if she's can you guys figure out who I am so I can be released?
I need to pass
I need a pass.
through the toilet.
She's like, you guys, I'm here. It's me.
Moaning Myrtle.
All right. So here's another one. This is not from a listener, but it's one that I wanted to do. A 24-year-old resident of Kansas City was riding in his car and police pulled him over. The police found drugs and 2 handguns, so he was taken in for further questioning.
Oh, of course.
When the detective asked Sean, the person that was driving the vehicle, about his address, he leaned to one side of his chair and released a loud fart before answering what his address was.
But also, I feel you, Sean.
The detective wrote in his report about the interrogation, the barrage of farts continued. And I knew you would love this one. And according to the detective, he continued to be flatulent and ended the interview. Though he was not charged because he wouldn't stop farting.
Because he stunk. Smart.
Sean was pulled over 2 months later, and police allegedly found crack and a stolen gun in his car. And it seems likely that he won't be able to fart his way out of trouble this time.
Well, there you go, guys. If you're planning on committing a crime, have some Taco Bell beforehand.
Just eat a bunch of beans.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being this high end super detective, and you're I can't crack him. I can't crack him. He just keeps ripping one. I can't do this anymore.
It's grabbing. I'm sorry, I love this one. Grabbing your note thing that you would write notes on, and
yes,
but really he's trying to play bad cop, but bad cop's being played on the cop because he stinks so bad. He's got a what is it? He's trying to smoke him out. Oh god, that's good.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
I'm almost 30 and I like fart jokes, guys.
She
okay?
loves fart jokes
so much, and so do my children.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
All right, this one has been on my mind for a long time, and because it's where I used to live. It's where I went to high school. In Crestview, Florida, at the Quality Inn, or formerly known as Jameson Inn.
Okay.
So the Jameson Inn was built in 2000, so it's pretty new.
Yeah.
In the city of Crestview, Florida, right off of I-10 in front of a popular truck stop, Cracker Barrel.
Oh, yeah.
Years ago, a man named William Blair was staying here and residing in room 208. He was sleeping until he was woken up by something moving in the room and then messing with his hair. He opened his eyes and he saw A headless woman in
Nuh-uh.
a long white nightgown walked
Really?
towards him. Yes.
Oh my gosh, no.
There was blood drip. He described it as there was blood dripping from her neck and her veins. Her veins were sticking out. And all of a sudden, she just like vanished into the wall that went into the attic or something.
Oh my gosh.
And according to the staff, the spirit isn't the only permanent resident in 208. Evidently, over the years, guests have fled the room, complaining of seeing their luggage and other objects levitate, and can smell a strong smell of cigarette smoke, even though it's a non-smoking room. One of the managers...
Oh, that's so annoying.
I know, right? Like, I booked a non-smoking room. Be so mad.
Yeah, what?
One of the managers and some staff claim to hear something almost every day, and they call it Fred. The spirit has been seen roaming the second floor halls and hanging around the elevator.
Okay.
And I guess sometimes the elevator will like go down a floor and like open up, and they're like, "Oh, there's Fred."
Oh,
You just assume it's Fred. There he is.
Because he can't go through ceilings or floors.
But
He's
he can
gotta
go
take
on
the
an elevator. It's the elevator of hell.
Oh my gosh.
So many good titles for this episode, I can already tell.
I know.
That's all I got on that one. That was the Quality Inn now in Crestview, Florida. I used to hear like stories about it, but it is
so
still
exciting.
up. It's a pretty little
Did you ever stay there?
hotel. No. No, I didn't stay in a hotel in my own town.
I know.
I
but
did
like,
stay in a hotel next to it though. And across from it once. So I guess I did stay in a hotel in my own town. Well, my mom did, and I went and stayed with them.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I know, like, if I was like 18 or whatever, and like trying to like be like spooky with my friends, we'd be like, "Oh, let's go rent a hotel room."
Oh yeah, we used to do stuff like that, but we never went to the hotel. I don't know why.
Could have.
I probably didn't believe it. I was probably like, whatever, that's baloney.
That's stupid. It's my
a small town and nothing happens here.
Yeah.
It's not really that small.
Yeah. Thank you. That was a good one.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is a short one. Another one that I thought was really funny. You're probably going to like this one too. When a man attempted to siphon gasoline from a motorhome parked on a Seattle street, he got much more than he bargained for. Police arrived at the scene to find a man that was very sick, curled up next to a motorhome trying to steal gasoline. When he tried to steal the gasoline, he plugged his hose into the motorhome sewage tank by mistake.
Oh, no. No,
and
bro.
he,
That's the wrong kind of gas.
He sucked it up. The owner of the vehicle did not press charges.
Nope.
He said that was the best laugh he has ever
That
had.
was punishment enough. Now you learn. You gonna learn today.
You're gonna learn today, boy.
That was shit. Oh, that's funny. Where was that?
I don't. Oh, in Seattle.
Oh, okay. What? I guess there's lots of camping there.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be something like, no offense, that a redneck would do.
Oh,
because I lived in the South and I know how we be, guys.
Well, a lot of people in Seattle, they go up through Seattle to get to
Oregon.
No, dog. Washington, Seattle.
Yeah, I know.
Oregon's below it. Oh, I mean, yeah, they could get to Oregon that way. But I was thinking like people take the ferry through Seattle and go through Canada to get to Alaska. Because I have to affiliate everything with Alaska,
and
obviously.
plus everybody camps there too. So you guys are really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, get excited, Amy, because
I have two more. By the way.
Okay. Okay. Well, maybe I will read this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
I have a treat for you. I have a Bob story. Bob. And if you don't know who Bob is, then you have not been listening to us long enough. So go back and listen.
Yeah. What the heck?
It's my dad.
Bob.
Bob. Not Barbara Ann. Okay, so so this is piggybacking off of the last little old man story that he told us.
Yes.
So to recap, Bob got told, Bob got told, yo.
He got told. Also, Bob does little segments like.
Yes, he thinks he is a good storyteller.
He is.
It's really annoying. How he sends them.
If you want to listen to the previous what happened before. You got to go back and listen to our other listener stories.
Yeah.
So
I believe it's in our last listener episode. I don't know which one that was. I just looked it up the other
episode
day.
like 20.
It was like 70.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not 70. It was like 50 or 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's there.
So to recap everybody on what's going on with Bob, he had told us that he was living in my home in Goose Creek, South Carolina, where his toddler daughter, my big sister, at the time was being terrorized every night by something.
Bree just likes the fact that she's the star of the story.
It's about me. Come to find out, after talking to the neighbors, some years before, the previous owners had a similar encounter where their child named him Little Old Man, or Lil Old Man, and identified it as a grandparent who had passed long ago because they'd seen a photo album. They're like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "That's your grandpa. You never met him before." And they're like, "Well, that's Little Old Man."
Right.
So, recap done.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all get ready for Bob's storytelling. I got to tell it right.
Okay. Don't let us down, Bree.
All right. Little Old Man
You let us down. Gosh dang it.
Bitch. Sorry. Okay. Little Old Man had become all but old hat in our home.
Oh.
People that visited knew you'd see him or see something in the hallway while watching TV. My wife expected the Raggedy Andy to be lying face down on the floor in our daughter's room after continuing to put it back on the child's rocker that it was supposed to sit on.
Okay.
Like every time she would walk by the room.
Right.
We were never sure why Little Old Man didn't like Andy. The dogs were also often bothered by Little Old Man and would on occasion give a wild chase while biting at the air above them. This was our normal. Note, guys, they were also boxers and they were spaz. So, that could have something to do with it. They were super spazzy.
Maybe, or they're just
one
trying
of our
to eat
boxers ate bees.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
a turtle.
And a turtle?
Snapping turtle.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Abby. Okay. So this was their normal. This was our normal.
Okay.
I wasn't there.
Right.
Just a phrase.
Bree was not there. That was not her normal.
All right. Pete and Vicky. I had befriended a guy from work, and we would often invite them over for cards, dinner, or an occasional party. Little Old Man had become normal to them at our house as well. One day, Pete and Vicky made a suggestion of using a Ouija board. Super smart. After dinner to talk to Little Old Man.
Why not?
Scared the bejesus out of my wife and I, and so we were all in. I'm not sure where the board came from, but I know it was from a secondhand store.
Oh, that's smart.
Two big
too.
no-nos.
Yeah.
We quickly read the instructions and put on our game faces. It seemed that Little Old Man was from the Civil War and buried on the property, despite the indications from our neighbors that it was the last homeowner's deceased father.
Really?
Please understand, we had all had at least a few adult beverages.
So big kid Capri Suns.
Correct. Little Old Man ended his history with not only being buried on the property, but having a valuable Civil War memorabilia.
Wow.
We asked where he was exactly. He told us, and Pete and I grabbed the shovels. We went out back with our bourbon and cokes, and Pete and I began on our quest for valuable memorabilia. After a large hole about 5 feet deep and 4 feet wide was dug, and our drinks were empty, we had found nothing.
We had to go 6 feet.
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the ground rises too.
Oh, that's true.
We were cold and wanted to nurse our bourbon buzz. Pete and Vicky and my wife went in, and I said I'd be there in a few minutes. I was going to put tools up. Truth was, I had to pee, and I waited for all to get back in the house to relieve myself.
Right.
I looked around some and even tried to drunk talk to a spirit. Surprisingly, I got no response. I put my tools up and went back in. Upon my arrival, the three of them were giggling, a little confused. I asked, "What was the joke?" They asked, "What were you doing?" I said, "I put the tools up. Why?" "No, really, what were you doing? What took you?" "What do you mean?" A little puzzled. "Did you do anything else?" I said, "I looked around some and then peed. What's the big deal?" We asked Little Old Man what was taking you so long. "Okay, and?" He said you were wetting him. Don't judge me. The end. Fun one.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Wedding.
Oh my gosh, that was really
And
good.
again, as I've said in the previous little man stories, my mom and my dad are divorced, which means at one point in their lives they didn't get along. But my mom will agree with my dad on these stories.
Yeah.
So they get along now, but you know.
Right. That is so funny.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is another one that I kind of wanted to share. So in 1986, a girl named Annie Andrews went on a date with a boy named Danny LaPalente, who said he was a friend of a friend. Annie and Danny had only talked on the phone, but Annie described himself as a tall, handsome athlete.
Oh, he described himself as that way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Danny.
When the two met for ice cream, Danny looked completely different and had a completely different type of appearance.
Okay.
After the date, Annie stopped answering her phone, his calls. He also, he was not tall, he was not handsome, and he was not an athlete.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Annie and her sister Jessica had recently lost their mother to cancer and performed a seance in the basement of their house to contact her spirit.
Okay.
When they heard knocking on the wall, they believed their house was haunted. In the coming weeks, there would be more knocks on the wall, furniture moved, messages written on what appeared to be blood. Their father, Brian, reportedly came face to face with Andrew.
What?
He was holding a hatchet inside their house, and he was wearing his deceased wife's makeup.
Ew.
Yep. When police finally investigated the home, they found that Danny had been living in the walls for weeks.
What?
He even cut holes in the wall to spy on Annie in her bedroom. He would even he would move things when the family wasn't home and wrote messages on the wall in ketchup to scare them.
Oh my gosh.
Danny was taken to a juvenile.
Why didn't you lick it first to figure if it's blood?
Why are you licking something?
Because you can tell the difference between ketchup and blood.
I know, you really can. Yeah.
So
but I'm not going to lick it.
It's not like,
lick it. No, Brie. Smell it, maybe?
Yeah.
Danny was taken to a juvenile facility, but was arrested the following year for the murder of a different family.
Oh my God. They almost died.
I know.
Whoa.
Isn't that bananas?
Oh my gosh.
But also, I feel really bad for those girls because they thought that their mom was
they probably got so relieved. They're like, oh, that's just mom knocking.
Yeah. And they're like, no, it's just a murderer.
Like they're like never doing another seance ever again.
So this is my last story.
Okay.
Or are you going to do one?
Nah, it's okay.
So this one is from another listener. So it says, hi, this case happened when I was in middle school in Salem, Oregon. Two twin brothers planned over a week to steal a couple who was in their 80s, their vehicle. They targeted the couple and brutally beat them to death. And the two brothers, the White brothers, were 15 years at the time. So there's the son of the couple that they brutally beat and murdered. Their son was a science teacher at this girl's school. It was a pretty big deal at the time because of how violent it was and how young the perpetrators were.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, the court determined that 67 years sentence was cruel and unusual act.
What?
And cut a chunk of the time off their sentence, so they'll now get out in about 3 years instead of 2026 or 2061. I was young when it happened and don't remember much, but because they were only 3 years older than me and a lot of my classmates had older siblings who knew them, and there was a lot of rumors going around, and a judge had significantly reduced the sentence of the twin brothers who had were convicted of murder of a couple in 1993. Isn't that crazy?
That's ridiculous. You murdered two people, and like they were defenseless.
Yeah.
Aww.
I know.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Did you get their names?
Of the boys?
They're probably protected. They probably
No, their names, I don't know why I didn't copy it into it, but their last name was White. They were labeled as the White.
Oh, the White brothers. That's right.
Yeah.
Y'all look them up.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I'm not like trying to gang up on people, but at the same time, like,
but
that could have been your grandma.
That was a listener. So thank you, listener.
Thank
for
you.
sharing that with us.
Thank you. You're amazing.
I also have, sorry, I've been talking a lot, but I have a neighborhood story.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Brie, good job for getting a neighborhood story. So proud of you.
Thanks. I thought of it all by myself.
Did you? Because when I was listening, when I was editing this last episode, I was like, oh, let's wait 15 minutes for Brie to get skip.
Is that why you said that? You're like, get a neighborhood episode or neighborhood story.
I was like, in the recording, I'm like, are you Googling on it?
You know what? I'm sorry.
It's okay. You don't have a lot of flaws, so you're good.
Yeah. I have, everybody has them.
Yeah. It's your quirk.
Not everybody can be perfect all the time.
Yeah, I know. Must be rough. Okay, so this one is from House. A couple of years ago, a black expensive car with a guy in a dark trench coat and dark sunglasses suddenly showed up in front of my house. He sat in the car reading the newspaper or just staring out the window all day long. It really creeped me out, and I was sure he was a pedophile oogling the kids at the nearby school bus stop. After a couple of days of this, I called the police. They did some checking and called me back to tell me that the guy was a private detective hired by a husband 2 houses down from me to spy on his wife's activities during the day.
Whoa.
Eventually, the car left and the couple divorced and moved away.
Whoa.
Bummer.
That stuff actually happens, guys.
It does. My brother does it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He's a private detective, and he gets hired all the time for cheating.
Do you have to be a detective to be a private detective? Or could you just, like, snoop in people's lives and be like, hire me, pay me under the table? Yeah, it's just like a, what is it called? Like a trade. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a bounty hunter.
Yeah, you have to be licensed.
Oh, what? I don't need to be licensed. I'll be paid under the table. I'll just go snoop in everybody's business.
You have to be licensed. I know that there's a test or something that you have to take. I'm not positive. Or maybe like a training class, but my brother had to do it. But he was originally hired under a private detective. Kind of like
an internship.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
I want to do that.
You should. You'd be really good at it.
It'd be a great stay-at-home mom job.
Yeah, it would.
I'd take the kids to school and be like, I'm going to go spy on the neighbors now. I'm going to go find out why this person's always missing their mail.
You also get really good resources when you are licensed.
Yeah.
You can get stuff that other people can't.
It'd be really cool. That would be a really cool job.
Yeah.
It could be like in one of those old detective movies and wear a hat and a coat. Oh, yeah. He was wearing a hat and a trench coat. That is sick.
The woman was found with another man in her house. And
she was stabbed to death. I sound like the Martians from Mars Attacks.
What was it? I was like in my car and I was talking and I was like, oh, Walter, what do you expect me to do? Murder him? Why was I talking like that?
What? You were doing that in your car?
Yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes I always have conversations with myself, but I usually don't use other voices.
I was telling
unless I'm like really hyper.
I was telling telling you I was. I don't know why. I was telling you that I was like all.
Was this the other day?
Yeah, when I was listening to that
You're, like,
podcast.
super like hyper and like in a good mood.
Yeah, I was in a good. I came home and I wasn't in a good mood. But it was after I talked to you when I was at Walmart. This was yesterday.
Oh,
Like I was in a good mood on my way home, and I was just like, "Oh, Walter, what am I supposed to do? Be out of the spotlight after I murder him? Like, why?" I was just,
because you're testing out you're just making sure you're like warming up your acting skills
Yeah,
for
just
one
in
day
case.
when Hollywood calls you.
exactly.
When Hollywood calls us.
Yes.
You can't go anywhere without me.
Yes, exactly, Bree. I would never go anywhere without you.
Yeah.
So, follow our social medias and
Order our merch.
order a merchandise on the World Wide Web of what'swiththeneighbors.com. And have you checked in on the neighbors lately?
What's with the neighbors?
Bree and Amy out.
I forgot about that.
Say hi to our cats, your cats for us.
No.
Don't get mad.
Don't get dead. Thank you. What's with the neighbors? What did I say now? Don't get dead.